Next Thursday, Rodney, is scheduled to be the presidential debate number 2.
Right.
And there's a lot of unclarity around what's going to happen next Thursday.
I think you made up that word.
I think I just did, yeah. Well, we're going to stick with it. We're going to keep moving forward, Rodney. The Presidential Commission on Debates, if that's correct, the debate on Commission for Presidential Debates, maybe that's what it is. They decided that they're going to move, in light of President Trump's COVID diagnosis, they're going to change the format of debate number 2 to a virtual format, to which President Trump said, nope, not doing a virtual debate. And
Right.
We're left sort of scrambling at what goes next. What do you make on this situation about the president? Is he a super spreader? Is he unsafe? Do they have to do virtual? Do you think they're going to work something else out to do in person?
I don't think it has anything to do with safety. President Trump now has antibodies, and so he is not spreading it. He's immune to it, at least for some period of time. And so he's not going to be either receiving it or spreading it to anybody else. It's actually safer than the first debate to have them in the same room. It's all about controlling the debate itself, where Trump was clearly, playing the aggressor and was interrupting many, many times. And Biden responded in kind. But that's Trump's style. And so if they are in remote locations, then it's much easier for a moderator to essentially hit the mute button or to cut back and forth over, each person who's participating and essentially hem them in, which does not serve President Trump well at all. Because, like I said,
don't think it serves anybody well, Rodney. I mean, this is, you talk about shit show, pardon the phrase, but they used it on CNN, so I'm going to use it here. I mean, that sounds like a total disaster. I mean, anyone who sat on a Zoom meeting with people cross-talking and all this stuff, it seems like a complete recipe for a disaster. And the idea that a moderator can just sit there and hit the mute button on either one of these guys, to me, is a bit ridiculous.
Well, I wouldn't use CNN as my guide as to what etiquette I should use. But if I'm looking at it, if you made it more of a true debate where you have the time that you have allotted to you, you have the green, the yellow, and the red lights that show you when your time has expired, and you're required to adhere to it so that the other party makes their points and it goes back and forth in a very congenial way, that would be different. But that's not where we are.
It's never going to happen.
Exactly. And so that's, I don't know that America tunes in for that either. We like edutainment. We like things that are educational, but also entertaining. And so I'm not sure that people would be interested in it. But like I said, it doesn't serve President Trump at all. And so I do not expect him to participate in something like that. Just zero.
2 quick things on this. One, unclarity is a word. It's on Merriam-Webster.com, so I'm saved there.
Thank goodness. Are you looking up your other term now?
I forgot what it was.
Uh-huh.
The other thing is that one of the wrinkles of something that's come out, Rodney, is I mentioned the potential for a moderator to mute either one of these people. Well, the moderator for debate number 2 is Steve Scully from CNN. Right. And he doesn't like President Trump. In fact, he likes Joe Biden. He was pictured there at an event with Joe Biden. He retweeted a David Brooks article from 2016 saying, "Never Trump, not ever." And just this morning or last night, he apparently meant to direct message Anthony Scaramucci and apparently just tweeted it out instead saying, "Should I respond to Trump?" I don't know why he's trying to get advice from Scaramucci. And after this fallout, Steve Scully has nuked his Twitter account. This is a disaster. Why can't we get someone a little bit neutral to moderate these debates, Rodney?
Yeah, the question is, who would the neutral party be?
How about Joe Rogan?
And so I don't know that he's neutral. I mean, because what happens, of course, is you immediately start going through everybody's, historical writings and associations. And if you've been in the public eye for any length of time, then you have those things. And so perhaps you go, as some have said, with no moderator. You have a list of questions that are going to come up, and you just ask them with a time, and you move on. So if we're looking for somebody who's completely neutral, I think we're using the wrong metric because you'll never find it. I don't even know that this particular person, I don't know him. He could actually be a great moderator. He can have a point of view and still be a great moderator. I don't think those two things are mutually exclusive. It just depends on the questions you ask and and how you come back to it. And so unfortunately, it's one of those things like a consultant, right? At the end, you have the experience, and that's when you have to figure out if the money was worth it. Yeah. And so I don't know that we can know ahead of time, but it's certainly a bad look on his part to be reaching out to somebody like the old mooch for advice on how he responds or if he responds to Trump.
Very bizarre. Yeah. And to me, it's not just the questions, but the framing of the questions and the premises behind them. That's usually where I take issue. All I ask, okay, fine. So we can't get neutral, right? Neutral is really hard. Oh, everyone has some bias, but how about just someone who isn't a never Trumper at minimum? I find that ridiculous.